In a startlingly candid interview, U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio joked that sugar withdrawal on a strict keto diet could have made him irrational enough to tell President Trump, "We must bomb Paraguay," a comment he clearly framed as humor, not policy. Rubio also gave Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s meat-and-sauerkraut eating regimen the stink eye, calling the diet crazy, and insisting that he could not travel the world carrying a cooler full of fermented cabbage. Trump's top diplomat said a low-carb keto diet had given him a near-psychotic experience during its first 72 hours, describing the sudden withdrawal from sugar and carbohydrates as leaving him unusually angry and irritable. Rubio used the hypothetical line about bombing Paraguay to illustrate how badly he believed the diet affected his mood, joking that he would have had no real reason beyond being furious that he had not eaten any sugar. In the same interview, Rubio praised Pop Tarts as the greatest American innovation, declaring his love for sugary snacks while stressing that he supports healthy eating in principle but does not believe extreme diets work for everyone. The Trump administration is facing wider internal turbulence over Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s sweeping health agenda, though the dispute over his personal diet was presented as a lighthearted cabinet disagreement rather than a formal policy clash. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio mocked RFK Jr.'s meat-and-sauerkraut diet, calling it a crazy diet, and joking that he could not travel around the world carrying a cooler packed with fermented cabbage. The comments came as Rubio and his wife Jeanette appeared together on the Katie Miller podcast, offering a more personal and humorous look at their routines, food preferences, and family life. They were asked whether they had adopted RFK Jr.'s diet of red meat and fermented vegetables, a regimen associated with reducing visceral fat and supporting gut health, but Rubio firmly rejected the idea as too restrictive and unsustainable for him. Marco Rubio said, and I quote, "No. This is a crazy diet. This is a diet that consists of eating sauerkraut and meat. Now you understand, like this is not a sustainable thing. Kennedy has to travel with coolers of sauerkraut. I'm not going to travel the world with a cooler full of sauerkraut. It's ridiculous. I can't do it." Unquote. Jeanette Rubio revealed that her husband enjoys Pop Tarts and other sugary foods, prompting Marco Rubio to defend the pastry as one of the great American innovations in the history of the world. Rubio also said he tried the keto diet roughly 4 or 5 years ago, following a protein-heavy and low-carbohydrate plan that sharply restricted sugar intake. He described the initial withdrawal from carbohydrates and sugar during the first 72 hours as a near-psychotic event, using the phrase humorously to explain how irritable and angry the diet made him feel. Marco Rubio said, and I quote, "If I did this in this job I would be Mr. President, we must bomb, Paraguay." And it's like, why? I don't know, I'm just really mad. I haven't had any sugar. The point is, I'm not against this diet. I'm not asking that we ban it. I encourage people to try it. I'm just saying it's not for everyone. RFK Jr. told the Wall Street Journal in June that his meat and fermented food diet helped him lose 20 pounds in 30 days. Although the rapid weight loss claim reflects Kennedy's own account and has not been independently verified. Vice President Vance also began following the diet during Lent this year, saying it involved high protein intake and fermented foods such as yogurt and cheese before he reportedly continued with the approach afterward. Rubio described Kennedy, Vance, and Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent as the funniest figures in the administration, saying each had a distinct style of humor that stood out during cabinet interactions. Karoline Leavitt is stepping down as White House press secretary to spend more time with her family, according to reports. The 28-year-old press secretary said she could not balance motherhood with the constant demands of her White House role. White House press secretary Karoline Leavitt will leave her position at the end of August after serving in the high-pressure role. Donald Trump said he respected Leavitt's decision and would continue to keep her as a top outside advisor after her departure. However, social media users have linked Leavitt's departure to Trump aide Natalie Harp, although the claims remain unsubstantiated. Serves as President Donald Trump's executive assistant and has worked closely with him since joining his administration in 2025. Described in reports as one of Trump's closest and most ever-present aides, with frequent access to the president. Known in reports as Donald Trump's human printer, because of her role in preparing information for the president. Provides Trump with printed news articles, talking points, and social media material to review and use during his work. Theories on social media suggested Harp's growing influence may have played a role in Leavitt's decision to leave the White House. Harp was reportedly among the aides who left with Trump on the secretly switched plane during the Iran threat security scare. Leavitt, meanwhile, was reportedly left aboard the decoy Air Force One as Trump was moved to another aircraft. Some social media posts alleged a rift between Harp and Leavitt following Trump's departure from Turkey during the security episode. But there is no credible evidence that the security episode caused Leavitt's departure from her position as White House press secretary. There is also no evidence that Leavitt was fired or pushed out of the White House, with her stated reason being to spend more time with family.
Upgrade your news experience with the all-new HD app. Download now.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that look, you will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest newsmakers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the U.S. will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry ghats.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Have you ever wondered what happens when a banking dynasty meets tides of world history, intrigue, and a dash of myth?
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HD videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that look, you will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest newsmakers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the U.S. will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry ghats.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Have you ever wondered what happens when a banking dynasty meets tides of world history, intrigue, and a dash of myth?
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HD videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.